United States District Court, Eastern District of New York. The New York State Judiciary Committee appointed Rosenblatt. He used to be on the Appellate Division, Second Department, before the public could be heard. Elena Ruth Sassauer had stacks of information to present, but was cheated out of a hearing. By consent of the governed, quote unquote, was ignominiously violated. Glendora never got her chance to oppose the Rosenblatt appointment to the New York State Court of Appeals. I sent them papers, and what did they do? Judith Kay and that gang, they send them back. Now, do you see what terrible state the courts are in? Whose courts are these? These courts belong to you, the public. These courts have been stolen. Now, as I've told you many times, God forbid that anything bad should happen to you, your rights or your property stolen or whatever. You have no place to go. You have no courts to go to. You get to court and you'll find out that those courts have been stolen by a gang of self-interested nincompoops. Insert. Infer are only 2 pages out of 60 that Glendora composed, delineating the unfitness of Mark D. Fox, the unfitness of the Merit Selection Committee, quote unquote, and the unfitness of the clerks, and the unfitness ad infinitum. And this is what Glendora wrote about Fox at that time. Pursuant to the Federal Judicial Conduct and Disability Act of 1980, Glendora complains that United States Magistrate Judge Mark D. Fox is unable to discharge all the duties of office by reason of mental disability. He is unable to control his anger. He bursts into uncontrollable temper fits, and this shows mental instability. Further, Fox cannot remember the rulings he has made and goes back on his word. This also shows mental instability. Mark D. Fox, these constitute 2 complaints of mental disability. Glendora papers in 96 Civ 0140 chronicle these instabilities. Home addresses and depleting the caption. He went back on his word in both instances. These explosions of temper became so sadistic, Glendora began bringing witnesses to the United States Magistrate Judge Fox courtroom. Every conference, Franklin Buell, Elizabeth Hume, James Poole, Ron Pure, Brian Sussman. Glendora asked the chief judge to appoint a special committee to verify supra. The record is in transcripts in the file and on the audio tapes that the court made. The voice tapes really tell it as it is. Videotapes would tell it better as far as the glaring, clenched teeth and shaking his pen at a litigant. But alas, USMJ Fox will not allow videotaping. He does not want the public, you, to see the bad behavior. Part B concerns Glendora's belief that United States Magistrate Judge Mark D. Fox has engaged in conduct prejudicial to the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts. The effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts. Glendora asks Chief Judge of the United States Court of Appeals, Second Circuit, John Newman, to improve the administration of justice in the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, White Plains, by taking action to correct this conduct that does not meet the standards expected of federal judicial officers and who are mentally unable to perform their duties. Did John Newman do anything? No. So John Newman was sued for that. He's from Hartford. John Newman. He was the head of the U.S. Court of Appeals. He stepped down and a worse one came in, another Connecticut guy, Ralph K. Winter. And you have heard hours and hours and hours of my testimony against Winter. Okay, this is the list of people on the selection committee who rigged the reappointment of Mark D. Fox and took away the say that you have, the public has. Glendora has full documentation of this violation of the Republic. We are guaranteed by the United States Constitution. B, Group 2 defendants. Here are their names. Charles P. Sifton and Joan M. Azrak, we've covered them. New York State Senate Judiciary Committee, Albert M. Rosenblatt, we covered them. Now here's the Group 2 defendants. Bradford A. Baldus. Bradford A. Baldus, Chief Deputy Clerk, the United States Court of Appeals for the Third Circuit, that's Philadelphia, is sued for hiring and tolerating clerks who make stupid entries, for changing plaintiff appellant's name, for not getting the name right, and for refusing to correct the same in the computer. Laws broken are Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rules 77, 78, 79, which is all about what the clerks have to do. Again, Glendora has full documentation of Supra. C, Group 3 defendant. Judith W. Rogers, United States Court of Appeals, District of Columbia, is sued for violating this American's rights. Infra, that means listed below. Title 42 U.S. Code, Section 1983, violation of civil rights under color of state. Title 42 U.S. Code, Section 1985, conspiracy. 28 U.S. Code, Section 144, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice. 28 U.S. Code, Section 454, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice. First Amendment, free speech. Fifth Amendment, due process. Seventh Amendment, jury trial. 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 1, just, speedy, and inexpensive. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26 to 37, discovery. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 38, jury trial inviolate. Failure to rule on the merits. Now, who is this? This is Judith W. Rogers in the United States Court of Appeals, District of Columbia. Obstruction of justice, not earning $130,000 a year plus, parasites, abuse of office, abuse of oath, apostasy, a conduct prejudicial to the effective and, what is it? You gotta remember that. And expeditious. To the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts. Title 28 U.S. Code, Section 372C1. Which business is justice? Cheating Americans and selling the public short. Selling you the public short. Rogers is sued for not giving a reason for dismissing Glendora's appeals, which were all Herculean fights for rights to save American courts from crooked lawyers and corrupt judges. She had no law, she had no facts, she does not prove she had a legitimate reason. We're up to page 8. The whole thing is 40 pages, and this is Part D, Group 4 dependents. Richard D. Stearns and his ghostwriter law clerk are sued for letting go Eugene H. Nickerson et al. With no punishment no accountability at all for Nicholson's betrayal of the USA. He is sued for violating Glendora's rights to the following. There again we have 42 U.S. Code 1983, violation of civil rights under color of state, 42 U.S. Code Section 1985, conspiracy, 28 U.S. Code Section 144, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice, 28 U.S. Code Section 454, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice, First Amendment, free speech, Fifth Amendment, due process, Seventh Amendment, jury trial, 14th Amendment, equal and protection of the law, and Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 1, just, speedy, and inexpensive, and Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26 to 37, discovery, and Rule 38, a jury trial shall be held inviolate. And then again, the same list that I read you. This is very important, even though it's repetitive. I'm going to read it to you again. This is what Richard H. Stearns in the United States Court of Appeals, Boston, did wrong. Failure to rule on the merits, obstruction of justice, not earning $130,000 a year plus, parasites, abuse of office, abuse of oath, apostasy, conduct prejudicial to the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts, Title 28 U.S. Code Section 372C1, which business is justice, cheating Americans, selling the public short, violation of the American Bar Association Code and that of state bar associations, analog to 22 New York Code Rules and Regulations 1236, presenting a criminal action to gain an advantage in a civil action. Robbing our constitutional right to a Republican form of government. E. Group 5 defendants. Let's see who they are. Anita B. Brody, Michael B. Stiles, an assistant U.S. attorney in Philadelphia, James G. Sheehan, another one, Benjamin R. Barnett, another one, and Jennifer Padova, a law student that they ingratiate into writing their paper. So she thinks she's going to get a job after she graduates from law school, so she, dummy, cooperates with them and gives her soul to them and writes the legal paper, which legal paper I read to you a long time ago and refuted. Anita B. Brody, etc., is sued for violating Glendora's rights under 42 U.S. Code Section 1983, violation of civil rights under color of state, 42 U.S. Code Section 1985, conspiracy, 28 U.S. Code Section 144, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice, 28 U.S. Code Section 454, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice, the First Amendment, free speech, the Fifth Amendment, due process, the Seventh Amendment, jury trial, the 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law, and Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 1, just, speedy, and inexpensive. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26 to 37, discovery. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 38, jury trial inviolate. I keep reading these to you over and over again because these are the laws that judges constantly violate. These are the rights that judges constantly steal from people like you. use of oath, apostasy, conduct prejudicial to the effective, and what's that word now? Effective and what? Efficacious? No. Expeditious. To the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts, 28 U.S. Code, Section 372, C1. Which business is justice? Cheating Americans, selling the public short, cascading orders before Glendora is even heard. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 60B, relief from order. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 12.1, no grounds to dismiss. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 3, and Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 6, no grounds to dismiss. Failure to support the United States Constitution, for treason, for dysfunctionalism, for succumbing to the poison gas warfare of Stiles, Sheehan, Barnett, and Padova. 17. Stiles, Sheehan, Barnett are sued for this very poison gas warfare, for presenting no meritorious defense, for Rule 11 misrepresentations, for out-of-bounds ultra-virus, since they could find no meritorious defense in their own court. They stole defenses from other courts, like schoolboys copying the answers on the test of the student next to them. For falsely claiming they could represent defendants in Boston, New York, District of Columbia, New Jersey, when they are in Philadelphia. They have no standing, ultra-virus. For dysfunctionalism, for cheating, for 60 lies, for no 4-digit Social Security notation after their names. For violation of the American Bar Association Code and that of state bar associations analog to Title 22 New York Code Rules and Regulations 1236, presenting a criminal action to gain an advantage in a civil action. Unbelievable how dishonest these people are, and how dishonorable they are, and how they have taken over your courts. What are we going to do about this? For corrupting a freshman law student, Temple University, ghostwriting their poison gas. Jennifer Petova is sued for letting herself be corrupted. F. Group 6 defendants. Let's go and see who they are. Leonidas Ralph Mecham, the Advisory Committee on Civil Rules, Judicial Conference of the United States, the Committee on Rules and Practice, Procedure, and Peter G. McCabe. And we are up to page 12. Leonidas Ralph Mecham is sued for never answering, nor acting upon, nor correcting the cheating and misadministration of the United States District Court, Southern District of New York, by Thomas P. Griesa and by Charles L. Bryan, presented to Mecham in 14 voluminous papers over 3 months by Glendora. This is violation of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 77, 78, and 79, which says what clerks have to do. G. Group 7 defendants, Mecham through McCabe, are sued for failing their duty on Glendora's action to cease the illegal practice of United States District Judges robbing courthouse patrons of their tape recorders and forcing security, quote-unquote, personnel to wrench the same from the patrons. These judges are doing bad things in the courtrooms, and they are trying to keep the public from finding out this. Abominable amounts of taxpayer money are wasted on this self-interest of judges. This is violation of First Amendment. The public has a right to know. You have a right to know what's going on in your courtrooms. An informed electorate is vital to democracy. Glendora made this point to Meekum through McCabe 4.5 years ago. They have done nothing. They waste taxpayer money on this masquerade. They violate government by the consent of the governed. There are no non-lawyer members on the committees. Glendora sues all judges who perpetrate and perpetuate this illegal practice of snatching tape recorders. It is censorship. It is unconstitutional. Further, judges will not let Glendora videotape her courtroom hearings for her TV program. We are up to page 14. Let's take a break. So here we are, folks. It's 11:10 in the morning on February 23rd. 6 inches of snow. And we're resuming. All of the morning chores are done. And Raji Lemley, it's quite a big job. You have to go way back into the files of 1998 and 1999. And I found out that lawyer for hire, Michael Goldberger, an assistant U.S. attorney, never served Glendora a motion for dismissal. And he can only speak for the people I sued who work in the courts. And the whole thing was improperly removed. And Nickerson has never ruled on that motion. H, Group B defendants. Let's go and see who they are. Robert W. Sweet. Yuck. John Walsh. That's the Pinkerton who took the tape recorder and tossed it into the air and let it land on the desk. Nothing wrong with that, right, in a federal court? Yeah. These crooks cover it up. James P. McCloskey, the president of Pinkerton Detective Services. You know, they're just security guards. And Dennis R. Brown. McCloskey's the CEO. Dennis R. Brown is the president. And Pinkerton Security and Detective Services. These defendants are sued for dismissing and colluding to dismiss Glendora's action against Pinkerton. Walsh for tossing Glendora's audio tape microcassette into the air. It's a $150 recording instrument when he returned it to her after illegal confiscation. Manister never served on Glendora. Manister isn't listed here. That's bad. Todd Manister. Oh, yeah. Stephen Juris. Yeah, Todd Manister. Good. Manister never served on plaintiff his motion to dismiss. Glendora never saw it. Sweet was made fully aware of the same. Yet Sweet coached Manister to send in a judgment, and Sweet would sign it, and Sweet did. That's how dirty Robert W. Sweet is. A former U.S. attorney. I think they should make a law that former U.S. attorneys cannot be judges, because when they're judges, other U.S. attorneys come before them all the time, and they're always going to be prejudiced in favor of the U.S. attorneys. Pinkerton, McCloskey, and Brown are sued for hiring such mentally unstable incompetents as John Walsh and Kenneth H. Mildworm, and for lying that Walsh dropped the recorder, and for their illegal refusal to hire blacks and women in White Plains, Uniondale, Westbury, Hauppauge, together with their way below quota in Manhattan and Brooklyn. Sweet is sued for violations infra, Title 42 U.S. Code 1983, violation of civil rights under color of state. Title 42 U.S. Code Section 1985, conspiracy. 28 U.S. Code Section 144 and Section 454, refuse to recuse. bias and prejudice. First Amendment, free speech. Fifth Amendment, due process. Seventh Amendment, jury trial. 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 1. Speedy, just, speedy, and inexpensive. That's the law for an action in court. Just, speedy, and inexpensive. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 26 to 37, discovery. Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 38, jury trial. Failure to rule on the merits. This is Robert W. Sweet. Obstruction of justice. This is Robert W. Sweet. Not earning $130,000 a year. Robert W. Sweet, and he's at the top of the list of judges who are very rich because of their investments. Abuse of office, Robert W. Sweet. Abuse of oath, apostasy, conduct prejudicial to the effective and, what was it, efficacious? Expeditious, I think. It was expeditious. To the effective and expeditious. Effective and expeditious. Administration of the business of the courts. 28 U.S. 372C1. Which business is justice? Cheating Americans, Robert W. Sweet. Selling the public short, Robert W. Sweet. Violation of the American Bar Association Code and that of State Bar Associations, analog to 22 New York Code Rules and Regulations 1236, presenting a criminal action to gain an advantage in a civil action. Obstruction of justice. Group 9 defendants. Hannah Steglick, Sam McLemore, and Ralph K. Winter. Anna Steglick, Sam McLemore, and Ralph K. Winter, Karen Grieve, Milton are sued for dismissing Glendora's appeal, Glendora versus Conway, the Great American Civil RICO case, 18 U.S. Code 1964, Civil RICO. Claiming that Glendora had not moved for leave to appeal timely, Glendora filed a motion the day after she received their letter to move for leave to appeal. Their letter was delayed 10 days by the White Plains Post Office. The postmaster wrote Steglick through Milton and explained her post office was at fault, but the sinners did not recant. This was unreasonable and a violation of civil rights. It was spite, malice, and First Amendment retaliation. Laws broken are 1983, 1985, 144, and 454, and First Amendment and Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 77, 78, 79, how the clerks must file things in the federal courts. Winter is also sued, Ralph K. Winter. He used to be the chief judge. He's gone now. Winter is also sued for using the clerk's office supplies, office space, and postage for personal affairs. He boomerangs like a kangaroo court. Glendora's papers suing him. He is a fugitive. A judge of all people should know one does not ignore legal papers. J. Group 10 defendants. Colleen McMahon, there's only one defendant. Group 10 defendant. Colleen McMahon dismissed Glendora's brave fight against First Amendment retaliation against Charles L. Bryant, Harold Bear, Maura Evans, Dolce, when she's in the same courthouse as Bryant and in the same district as Bear. Makes sense, doesn't it? These people are nuts. They should know enough to put it into another court. Colleen McMahon and her ghostwriter law clerk are sued for not recusing, and for violating 42 U.S. Code Section 1983, violation of civil rights under color of states, 42 U.S. Code Section 1985, conspiracy, 28 U.S. Code Section 144 and 454, refuse to recuse, bias and prejudice, First Amendment, free speech, Fifth Amendment, due process, Seventh Amendment, jury trial, and 14th Amendment, equal protection of the law. Regardless, Glendora won all the relief she sought since McMahon failed to rule on Glendora's motion in 60 days, and that's pertinent to New York State Civil Practice Laws and Rules, Section 2219. Mary Jo White and Rachel Godsill are sued for their lying and law-breaking, removing Glendora's case from the Supreme Court County of Westchester, State of New York, 28 U.S. Code 1441 to 1449. Civil rights cases cannot be removed. Inter alia. Group 11 defendants, Young and Anastas. Young is a dumb judge. In fact, he's the chief judge in Boston Federal Court, and Anastas is the chief clerk in Boston Federal Court. They are sued for failure to file Glendora versus Conway et al. And Glendora versus Vidure, Texaco et al. Twice. This is a violation of First Amendment right to petition one's government for redress of wrong, of 5th, of 14th, and of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 77, 78, and 79. Group 12 defendants, both city judges at the City Court of the City of Peekskill. That would be William Marr and Bierbauer. Marr got defeated by Lindy Hartzman in the appellate term. A decision by Andrew DePaula. So both of these city judges in Peekskill, Pataki's hometown, and clerk Janice Laughlin, therein, are sued for not filing Glendora's case, for not saying why, and for not answering her quo warranto. Claims are violation of 42 U.S. Code Sections 1983, violation of civil rights under color of state in 1985, conspiracy, and First Amendment 5th and 14th. Group 13 defendants. T.P. Griesa is a defendant, appellee, in several Glendora fights for rights. In lieu of answering the papers, he boomerangs them and uses the pro se office resources to do so. Personal postage, office space, and supplies. The claim against him is violation of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 77, 78, 79 that a clerk should file a lawsuit. A judge should know enough not to steal government resources for personal use, not to ignore legal papers, and not to be a fugitive of justice. Group 14 defendants. James M. Parkinson, Chief Clerk of the Southern District Federal Court. Joseph Cloyd, his deputy. Michael McMahon, another deputy in White Plains. Lorraine Lombardo, who works for Michael McMahon in White Plains, and their clerks 1993 to 1999. They are sued for robbing Glendora of her files. Papers Glendora has filed are not there, particularly Glendora's excoriations of judges and magistrates' file conduct. An example is docket number 21, Glendora's penetration of Mark D. Fox report. See, they don't file it when it's against the judge. And recommendation. Recommendation is spelled W-R-E-C-K-O-M-E-N-D-A-T-I-O-N. That's Mark Fox, a sleaze. Glendora requested her files in the White Plains branch, United States District Court, Southern District of New York, not be sent to Kansas City until she finished her scrutiny of same. Lorraine Lombardo put pressure on Glendora that said files had to go imminently. Even when the case is in White Plains, when Glendora asked Michael McMahon to file papers that should have been filed 1.5 years ago, McMahon blockheadedly sends papers to Manhattan. He refused to answer a quo warranto why. Even when Glendora writes a note to Michael McMahon personally and hands it to him personally, he refuses to read it and sends it to Manhattan. Why did the public spend $33 million to build the courthouse that Bryant wanted at 300 Quaropus, White Plains, if everything has to be sent to Manhattan. McMahon sided with Tormey in refusing to show objector Glendora the Texaco derivative action file. Clerks have to show litigants the file they are there to see. When you're going to see a file in federal court, I don't care if it's in the clerk's office or in the judge's chamber, so-called, it has to be sent down for the public to see. McMahon gets very hot-headed and out of control, and one of Cloyd's clerks handed in a record on appeal without Glendora's complaint, and saw nothing wrong with it. A case goes to the U.S. Court of Appeals, and you don't send them the complaint. The Pro Se Office Manhattan has repeatedly failed to send Glendora motions to docketing. When Glendora points out that a document is missing, Lorraine says that happens all the time. This is wrong. The clerk is supposed to keep accurate records and complete files. Glendora wants future generations to see what these judges did and how Machiavellian they made federal courts. The claims against Group 14 defendants are violations of Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 77, 78, 79. All applies to clerks and their filing. Leonides, Ralph Meekum, Parkinson, Cloyd, McMahon, Lombardo have heard these complaints multiple times and remedy not. This is another count against Meekum. This is judge abuse of and clerk's abuse of the Pro Se Office, another perversion by self-interest judges. The Pro Se Office Congress created to help pro ses, not to help judges. We are up to page 21. Group K defendants. Group 15. De Blasi and Schwersky are sued for issuing an order on September 14, 1999, for which they had no jurisdiction on 3 counts. A. Glendora has no action before de Blasi. B. De Blasi cannot issue orders after the case is dismissed, closed, and in the appellate division. C. De Blasi has no jurisdiction over the unified court system of the state of New York. He has no such long arm. He is confined to his own de minimis court. De Blasi wastes massive taxpayer resources. Office space, office supplies, postage, copying, personnel, to satiate his egocentrism and to assuage his guilt-ridden mind of that which Glendora has so thoroughly exposed him. Now, while we're at it, see, I've caught de Blasi in all those cheats that I just read to you and many more cheats. And that was back in '99. And then here in 2000, Gannett catches de Blasi still cheating. He missed court 31 mornings in a row so that he could be in Connecticut School of Broadcasting taking a TV course on how to be a host. Keep watch of de Blasi. We've almost got rid of him. I got to finish it off. Love lifted me when nothing else could help. Love lifted me. If I write a number in the air, can you tell it what it is on television? On television, it's all backwards. The image is backwards. What number is this? See, to me, that's frontwards. Is it frontwards to you? Oh, 7. What number is this? 2. What number is this? What number is this? What number is this? I can fix my hair in a mirror, but I can't fix my hair on television. De Blasio is guilty of First Amendment retaliation. De Blasio is in collusion with Swirsky and has told 345 lies. De Blasio has wallowed for a year in self-interest, never in the public interest. Ghostwriter Swirsky writes pages of prolixity.
And some sweet day I'll take.
Folks, this is Leeds Jackson, who is leading the battle against the New York City Board of Elections, that during a contested primary, you cannot do a right.
Brief saying our prior position is wrong, Gelb is right. We're filing a motion to intervene in Gelb's case before Daniel.
Okay.
Saying we're two New York City voters, we're mad as hell, and we also put in a couple of things that he overlooked.
Yes.
Such as we asked Daniel to declare them in violation of the state constitution too.
Yes, they are. The Bill of Rights, Article 1?
Yeah, the voting one and the equal protection.
Yes.
And we also said that when you are out of, supposing that you live in the city and you go to New Jersey and you get an absentee ballot in the mail, you should be able to mark on that absentee ballot a write-in vote. And if you can't, I said that could be mail fraud.
Oh yeah, mail fraud and wire fraud. Okay.
And I asked him to refer it to the FBI, and I also asked him to refer it to the United States Department of Justice.
Good.
The two exhibits that I put in were, I have a letter from Pataki where we asked him to fire the Board of Elections.
Yes.
And he wrote back and said, it's in court, we're waiting for them to rule.
Yeah, I know, you told me.
They didn't rule. And then the second one is from the Department of Justice Office of Civil Rights voting section, where we said it's a Voting Rights Act issue, and they wrote back and said, everybody's been screwed equally, therefore it's not.
Yes, I know. These are bulletins you've given me before.
Yeah. So,
good for you. You're doing a good job.
now what I want to do is find some card-carrying motorcycle gang member who's registered to vote to go down there and file. There's a money-making venture for the club. Wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah, that would be very funny.
It was someone's wife. Hilarious. I told Kubi about it, but he was brain dead. He got off the TV camera. He could really get a lot of ink with this one. Oh, and we made the wire service.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we were in, the Gelb case was in yesterday's New York Times and Newsday.
Oh, good.
And I talked to Mancini at Newsday, and he said, as soon as we, get it inked up, fax it over.
Oh, good. Now, Leeds, you should leave your telephone number very often when you call.
Oh, okay. I've never gotten a call. Maybe I haven't left it enough.
And I have the graphic up there that gives your telephone number. But I think you should say it more often.
Okay.
All right.
How is your stuff going? You're not registered in the city.
No, of course not.
White Plains.
No, right.
Do you have any friends in the city?
Now, I want to tell you about Mukasey and Griesa. The New York City Parking Violations Bureau stole my car, $620, and on summonses of 1995, 1993, and 1997.
Wow.
And they have it in their record that they sent it to an address where we hadn't lived for 10 years, and then it came back to them. And so I went after them, and I said, you have taken my property without due process of law.
Yeah.
You didn't notify me of this, so you're in violation of the 14th and the 5th, and this is under color of state, 1983 and 19...
There have been cases when I was in Washington.
Now listen, 1985. And
that's a class-based animal.
And I got two of the summonses vacated, and that brought it down to $430. Franklin paid him $430. The third one, the hearing officer said he could not do anything.
I had to stop and make a couple of telephone calls before 5 o'clock.
Vacated, and that brought...
It's taking so long to videotape these reports to you today. I didn't get a chance to telephone.
Now listen, 1985, and
that's a class-based animal.
and I got two of the summonses vacated, and that brought it down to $430. Franklin paid him $430. The third one, the hearing officer said that he could not do anything because you had a hearing on it. I says, I have never been in this place in my life. He says, oh, well, the hearing was by mail. Hearing by mail.
I never heard of such a thing.
No. And so he says, well, go try to appeal it. So I did appeal it, and they found a way out. And so they sent back really all of the fines that we had paid, but they kept charging for the storage and for the tow.
Wow.
And for the sheriff's fee. And I said, you know, this is not right. You don't have a case here because you dismissed all three of them and so forth. Well, I sued them in Alabama, the United States District Court in northern Alabama. And Alabama, a lethargic judge down there named Acker, transferred it to the Southern District of New York against my vehement protest. I wrote a Rule 60B motion for him to relieve me from the judgment of transfer, because a transfer has to be in the interest of judges, that's interest of justice, and that's Title 28, 1404. Well, guess what? I get an order from Mukasey, and he says, show cause why you shouldn't be fined $500 because I told you not to file a case. And Teresa has no, I did not file a case in the Southern District of New York, did I? I filed it in Alabama.
That's right.
And so, show cause why you shouldn't be fined $500, and show cause why you shouldn't be allowed to file any more lawsuits. Now, he has no jurisdiction outside of his own district, does he?
Yeah, as far as I know, that would seem to be correct.
Okay, so that's an interesting one, and I am really getting out a great paper on that one. It doesn't have to be in it for 30 days. Isn't that something?
Yep, that it is.
Okay, so mine are going fine. The TV show is going fine. You're really doing a good job.
You know, the other really funny thing, all these judges have been disenfranchised.
Oh, good.
You realize that out of the judges sitting on the bench in the Southern District and the Second Circuit,
Yes.
that at least some of them must be registered to vote in New York City,
Yes.
and that therefore their rights have been violated?
Storage and for the tow.
Wow.
And for the sheriff's fee. And I said, you know, this is not right. You don't have a case here because you dismissed all three of them and so forth. Well, I sued them in Alabama, the United States District Court in northern Alabama. And Alabama, a lethargic judge down there named Acker, transferred it to the Southern District of New York against my vehement protest. I wrote a motion for him to relieve me from the judgment of transfer, because a transfer has to be in the interest of judges, that's interest of justice, and that's Title 28, 1404. Well, guess what? I get an order from Mukasey, and he says, show cause why you shouldn't be fined $500 because Gerasa told you not to file a case. And Gerasa has no... I did not file a case in the Southern District of New York, did I? I filed it in Alabama.
That's right.
And so, show cause why you shouldn't be fined $500, and show cause why you shouldn't be allowed to file any more lawsuits. Now, he has no jurisdiction outside of his own district, does he?
Yeah, as far as I know, that would seem to be correct.
Okay, so that's an interesting one, and I am really getting out a great paper on that one. It doesn't have to be in it for 30 days. Isn't that something?
Yep, that it is.
Okay, so mine are going fine. The TV show is going fine. You're really doing a good job.
You know, the other really funny thing, all these judges have been disenfranchised.
Oh, good.
You realize that out of the judges sitting on the bench in the Southern District and the Second Circuit,
Yes.
some of them, at least some of them, must be registered to vote in New York City.
Yes.
And that therefore their rights have been violated. Whereas their brethren in the Eastern District, if they're like Jack Weinstein, who votes in Nassau, that's where he lives.
Yes, certainly.
And Corman lives in Brooklyn Heights.
And Nickerson lives in Nassau.
Yeah, well, he used to be. That makes sense. It'll be pretty funny.
Well, I don't see why they would be bothered, because they're not interested in a writing and vote in a contested primary.
Exactly. That's it. You're 100% correct, but they're legal scholars and dispassionate jurists, and it's one rule for everybody.
Yes.
So I mean, it's the principle of the thing.
Okay, I'll put this on TV. I recorded it. Okay, I gotta go now.
Okay, it's really good to hear from you. And what did you think of that motorcycle one? Talk that up. That are there any people? Blah blah blah.
No, you talk it up. That's not for me.
Oh.
Okay, that's fine. And remember, please give your telephone number more often.
Okay.
All right.
And good luck. Did you get the car back, or they still have it seized?
Oh, no. I got it back. I went right down and paid the money and got it back, of course. But they did actually return all the money. Their arithmetic is bad. They missed by $20. But they did not compensate me for all the time and for all the labor that they caused me. They did not. I did not get punitive damages. And this Mukasey, he doesn't even mention my case. There's nothing on my case. It's only about this order for $500 sanctioned Rule 11.
Did you send the parking violation stuff into Dan Wise at the Law Journal? See if you could get him to run it?
Oh, no.
That's a good thing to do.
I don't have time for that.
You just run it through the fax machine.
No, I don't have time for that. Okay, honey.
Okay, tell Franklin I send my best.
Oh, yeah, I have a joke for you.
Okay.
The man stood in front of the judge.
Right.
And the judge says, why do you have Colonel in front of your name? And the man avoided the question, and the judge asked again, and the man avoided the question. The judge asked a third time, and finally the man says, well, the Colonel before my name is like the Honorable before your name. It means nothing. Heard a terrible thing this morning, Americans for Legal Reform. One of their members was standing before a judge in the bankruptcy court in Central Islip, in the Eastern District,
right.
And he died. He died.
In a heart attack?
Must have been.
Wow.
He's standing there with his wife before the bankruptcy judge, and guess who it is? It would be, what's her name? Dorothy Zeidenberg.
Uh-huh.
And he died.
Wow.
Isn't that terrible?
Yes. Was he old? Young?
He was only 73. That's not old.
It's about average for a male.
So I think that's terrible. Okay, Leeds.
Okay, good to hear from you. Keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you. You too.
Yep.
Bye.
Hello, this is Peter Dalio. If you would like to leave a voicemail message, please stay on the line. If you need immediate assistance, please press 0.
You have a nice voice. You should be on TV. This is Glendora. I'm calling to see if you received my order to show cause. It was served on Tuesday, the day after the holiday, early in the morning, and I'm wondering if you got it. Also, I would like to have a case number, and also I would like to have the summons sent to me, and the U.S. Marshal 225 form. Glendora 914-949-9495, Box 416, White Plains, New York, 10602. Thank you. That's the Delaware court. This is February 22nd, George Washington's birthday, and the time is 8 o'clock. And that was telephone call number 40 telephone calls. That's good. And all the legal papers are done.
You have reached the chambers of Judge Mukasey. No one is available to take your call right now. Please leave a message and someone will call you back as soon as possible. If you're calling about a case, please be sure to leave the name and docket number of the case. Thank you. Please leave a message at the tone, or enter another extension number, or press 0 for assistance. Recording.
Maybe suing them makes their insurance go up. Grace has been filing, returning, misfiling, burying for years. Try to keep it out of the record, his wrongs. What good are the courts, Griesa and Mukasey? What are they there for? If they don't give people justice, what are they there for? If they're not there for people who file lawsuits, what are they there for?
Americans for Legal Reform. Suffolk County Legislature addresses problems of sewer service. You know what that is? An unscrupulous process server writes an affidavit that he served you with a summons or with a legal paper, and he didn't really. He threw it into the sewer, so to speak. And he signs the affidavit that he served it. And then he takes it to the lawyer, and the lawyer takes it to the judge, and then the judge rules on judgment by default. That's what is going on in Suffolk County. Well, it's going on all over. And the Supreme Court of the United States is no good on sewer service. And Griesa, the Southern District of New York, is no good on sewer service. It's fine. That's great. That's great. Deny due process. Suffolk County Legislature addresses problem of sewer service with intro res number 2217, a local law to license process service in Suffolk County, sponsored by legislator Maxine Postal, Suffolk County legislator, 631-854-1111, fax 1114. Co-sponsors are legislators Fisher and Caracappa. Legislator Postal, herself a victim of sewer service, sponsored this bill after many victims, including ALR members, testified before the Public Safety Committee about harm they suffered and the need to protect Suffolk County residents from unprosecuted civil rights crimes, felonies surrounding the filing of false affidavits of service by Suffolk County's legion of bad lawyers that hire known sewer service. Schedules for committee meetings are posted on www.suffolk.co.uk/legis/ and transcripts of our testimony before the Public Safety Committee are linked to www.co.uk/legis/clerk/cmt/ps/ps00.htm. Our organization maintains that many transcripts of courtroom proceedings are laundered, that is, changed. Oh, they're right about that. This is Americans for Legal Reform. We have positive proof of this and are prepared to testify in court under oath as to this practice. So am I. It is the reason there are no cameras or tape recorders allowed in New York State courts. Looks like Babylon won't let Bob Matherson get out of New York State. They want to spend more time in court. How stupid can they be? And remember, don't vote for lawyers. Get them out of the government and get human beings in there. Americans for Legal Reform. How much money do you want to spend on a funeral? Do your people know? Or will you die and they won't have any information and they'll say you're not getting enough respect? And they will spend all your money on it. Is that what you want? If it is, that's okay. If it isn't, you had best call up funeral directors, get their prices. They're required by state law to give you the prices over the phone. Get their prices and select what you want. And select what you want paid and no more. It's a very bad time. The people who love you, you've died, and they're unhappy, and they don't know what to do, but if you have it on a piece of paper, they know what to do. So do that right now. Delaware Court. That's why I like wireless microphones.
I'm sorry. The person you are calling does not wish to talk with callers who block their number.
This is the Delaware Court. They don't want to talk to people who don't even know them. A Delaware United States federal court?
Can't believe that a court would do such a thing
Me neither.
as that.
U.S. District Court.
Hello, can you tell me the status of Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan?
As far as I know, it's the same as when you called last time.
I sent you an order to show cause. Did you receive it?
I'm not aware of us getting it now.
It went out Tuesday.
I have not seen it.
Well, somebody should have seen it. It went out Tuesday. You should have it by now. You should have had it Thursday. Can you check on it, please?
I can, but I can't do it at the moment. We're getting ready to close up shop here. And
Well, wait a second. A federal court has to be open until 5 o'clock.
well, we are. The thing is, the person that probably would have gone to is not here today, and
Well, then somebody else should do it. A federal court doesn't depend upon one person, whether he's there or not.
I understand that, ma'am. As far as I know, we don't have it. If you want me to check on it, I'm going to have to check with somebody that's not here right now.
Well, no, there's got to be somebody who takes that person's place.
Well,
You know, an order to show cause is an order to show cause. It's not just a simple paper.
look, we're going round and round on this. I don't know whether we have it or not. The person I need to check with is not here right now.
Well, where is that person?
They're out of the office for the day. Can you hold for a minute? My understanding is it just came in today's mail.
Oh, it's in today.
It came in today's mail.
Now, that is good news. Now, who is my assigned judge?
On that case, I'm not sure.
And what is the case number?
I don't have that information handy either. I would have to check it. And our systems or my system's down right now.
Your system is down?
Yes, ma'am. We're getting ready to close up.
Well, listen, you don't close until 5 o'clock, okay? And that's Rule 77, 76, 77, 78, and 79. Your courts have to be open from 9 to 5.
I don't know who the judge is assigned to the case or if one has been assigned yet. When one is assigned,
Well, can't you look it up?
my system is down for the day.
It shouldn't be down.
But whether
Turn the
it should be
system
or
off
not,
at
it
5.
is down for the day. Is there anything else I can help you
Yes, your system should be open from 9 to 5.
with? Ma'am, is there anything else I can help you
Yes, you're in violation of federal rules of civil procedure, and you can be sued.
with? Okay. Anything else I can help you with?
You haven't helped me with anything yet.
Well, do you
Except-
have any other questions?
Yes, what is my case number and what is my assigned judge?
I don't know offhand, and it's the case.
I'll leave you my number, 914-949-9495. Two simple questions. Who is my assigned judge?
Which case are you inquiring about?
Glendora versus Charles F. Dolan. What's your name?
My name is Brian Blackwell.
Which Blackwell?
Yes.
Are there two Blackwells?
No. Okay. I will check on this, and I will get back to you at some point on Monday.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blackwell.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable performance. This is Queens Public Access.
Good afternoon, QPTV. Can I help you?
Oh, yes, thank you. I got a letter. This is Glendora.
Yes, Glendora.
How are you?
Okay.
Is this Karen?
Yes, it's Carol.
Oh, Carol.
Yes,
Not Karen.
not Karen.
Okay, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
That's very good, thanks. Did you hear about the dentist who married the manicurist?
No.
They fight tooth and nail.
You're cute. That's funny.
Now, let's see. Explain this to me, that our records indicate that your series chat with Glendora has run a total of 13 weeks. Your final cablecast date is March 27th.
Okay, you have to call Karen for that. She handles that.
Well, what's that mean?
I don't know.
Well, surely you're going to renew it, aren't you?
I guess they are. I think you just have to send them a statement, but Karen will explain it to you on Monday.
Well, where is she now?
She's homesick.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Oh, she's home with the doggies.
Yeah.
Well, listen, can't somebody else explain to me?
Okay, wait. Hold on.
Okay, thanks.
So before I sue him, I guess I better wait and hear what they have to say. Don't you think? I'm working on Dolan here. Another memorandum.
So before I sue anything.
Glendora?
Yes, dear.
You have to call Monday. Karen's the only one that can help you with that. She does the programming for things.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And so she will renew it, huh?
Yes, she will. Have a good weekend.
Hey, all right, Karen. Now, Carol, you sure she'll be in?
Yes, she will.
Okay, what time?
10 o'clock.
Monday at 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. And yet they can't get a chat with Glendora up here.
So, the videotaping is up to date at 5:35 p.m. on February 23rd, 2001 Friday, and it's a disappointment to me that I had so much legal papers to do and so much videotaping to do that I didn't get to do any telephoning. And now we want to make an apple pie. I've got to go to Staples and reduce dough because it's 20 pages long, and that's too much money to print, and it's too much money to post. And I want to go and reduce the pages so that I can get 4 pages on a sheet, be 5 sheets, and that'll cost the same amount of money as ever, and in postage and printing. Right? Right. I'll have to read you some jokes, okay? You'll like the jokes. Bill said to his pal Peter, "I see spots before my eyes." And Peter says, "Ooh, have you seen a doctor?" And Bill says, "No, just spots." And the doctor looked at Jody and said, "You have acute appendicitis." She says, "Look, Doc, I came here for a diagnosis, not to be flattered." And the doctor said to Henry, "I can do nothing for you. Your disease is hereditary. I can do nothing for you. Your disease is hereditary." And so the patient said, "Okay, send the bill to my father." Back 20 years ago, did you hear about the doctor who was so meticulous that when he gave a shot for the German measles, he gave 2 shots, one for East Germany and one for West Germany? And Charlie says that his dog is like one of the family, and his buddy asked him, "Which one?" Did you hear about the dog who plays poker? Yes, he sits right up in the chair and he plays poker. But he's not very good at it. When he gets a good hand, he wags his tail. What would happen if you crossed an electric blanket with a toaster? What would happen if you crossed an electric blanket with a toaster? You would have something that would make people pop out of bed. What are we going to do about all of our stores closing? It's an implosion. Implosion. Bradley's closed, Target closed, Rock Bottom sold, Penny's is closing in White Plains. Franklin went to Sears and it looked empty. Montgomery Ward has gone out of business. Paisano's closed in White Plains. Fresh Tomato Pizza. Franklin mentioned another store yesterday that had closed. What are we going to do? It's an implosion.
Sorry, Mr. Call.
We have a tape jam. Isn't that nice? Sony tape very often jams. Tape jam.
Attic, I'm sorry I missed your call. I just got back in, and I'm home all evening, and expect to be home tomorrow. I'm on phone to you. So give me a buzz when you get a chance, and I'll tell you about this whack guy, Peter Simpson. Have a nice day. Hello to your better half. Talk to you soon. Bye. Well, your equal half. Bye.
Say hello to your better half, and you should change it to your equal half. It's my bitter half.
7:58 p.m. The New York Times, Wednesday, February Glendora.com rejects. Growing indignation results from recent risk dismissal by Jennifer Lee. Quote, they are young, smart, and bitter. They are the victims of the recent wave of layoffs in the high technology industry, and many of them do not believe how clumsy their former employers were delivering the bad news. Period. End quote. Well, all you young, smart, bitter dot-commers, I've got a challenge for you. You registered to vote in the city of New York. If so, I have a motion to intervene in the case of Gell versus the Board of Elections. Registered voters in the city of New York have been denied their fundamental constitutional right to vote for the phone of their choice. Says who, you ask? Says the New York City Corporation Council, admitting in legal papers that their client, the New York City Board of Elections, has violated the law for the past 42 years. Are you an organizer? Mad as hell, short of cash? Go down to the courthouse, take a look at the papers, give us a buzz. We're a bunch of old-time people. We don't know too much about computers. We don't publish on the internet very well. However, we know a good idea when we see one. If your constitutional rights have been violated, and you're mad as hell, young, smart, and bitter, looking to take a nice vacation to Hawaii, Australia, New Zealand, or perhaps a surfing trip to Cape St. Francis in South Africa, give us a buzz. 212-569-1661, 212-569-1661, and we'll share with you our knowledge regarding the disenfranchisement of the voters of New York City for years and years and years. Then, evaluated as a layman, come to federal court, watch the show, watch a cab driver in action named Irving Gell, who thinks he knows everything about something or other, and figure out whether there's a publishing opportunity here, or simply an opportunity to say, look, Judge, I'm a registered New York City voter. Friday, 7:42 a.m. Glendora, Tom Gauger returning your call. It's 9:20 on Friday the 23rd. I'm in the office. I have a conference call from 10 to 11, and then I'm free after that for a while until about 3. 516-803-1378. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Friday, 1:26 p.m. Oh. Hi, it's Irving Gell. I'm just calling to thank you for your orders today. Maybe we'll touch base some other time. Have a nice weekend. Bye. Irving Gell. Friday, 3:04 p.m.
Hi, Glennie. It's me, Lori. How are you? I'm on my way upstate to see my husband. I'm calling you from my cell phone in the car. Everything's fine. Everybody's fine. I have you taped from Hop Hog, and Nassau County Woodbury told me that Franklin was in the day before to pick up your tape. So, I don't know whether Jackie's going to be going to Riverhead before the 3rd, but we'll try, okay? I'll talk to you later. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
End of messages. Messages deleted. To save all messages.
Joe said to Bill, his buddy.
Good morning, folks. It's Saturday morning, February 24.
Buddy.
Good morning, folks. It's Saturday morning, February 24. And it's 8:30 a.m. And I got it, folks. I got it. I got the title of my paper. Very queer people named Mukasey and Griesa, a couple of wacky judges in the Southern District of New York, federal court, got out an order, quote unquote, sickest thing you ever saw, saying that Glendora had to pay $500 because she filed a lawsuit in the United States District Court in Alabama, over which they have no jurisdiction. And the case got transferred up to the Southern District of New York. I vehemently oppose the transfer. Vehemently. On a Rule 60B motion for release from order to this crazy judge in Alabama, Acker. A-C-K-E-R. I've told you all about him. And then this crazy Mukasey and Griesa in the Southern District of New York say that Glendora can't file any lawsuits without their permission. Well, that's nuts. They don't have any jurisdiction except over the Southern District of New York. Sick. So this dumb order, which I have dissected word by word, paragraph by paragraph, statement by statement, and will read to you, and has occupied this so-called mind for a week. A week ago Saturday, I read it and was appalled by its invective. And I've been 1,000 electromagnetic waves went through my mind as to what was wrong with this and what must be done with it. And it's taken a long time to get those onto paper because I put them on audio tape first. You either have to carry a piece of paper, folks, or you have to carry an audio tape recorder. And any thought that comes to your mind, you have to record it on paper, or because these are electromagnetic waves, they go through and they don't come back again. So it took a long time to record them all, or rather transcribe them all into writing. And now finally first of all, let me tell you about last night. 8:30 is get the beds ready and go to sleep time, and I have to do that faithfully every night. And but 9 o'clock no sleep, 10 o'clock no sleep. So after an hour and a half, and it should be after the first half hour, you just can't sit there and waste time because you're going to be tired the next day. So you just got to get up and do what you should do. And so I did Raji. That's Glendora versus Lemley Cablevision case, where I say that they are a civil RICO. And they are. And what I wrote in 1998 about Cablevision being a civil RICO is just as true today. And that involved a whole lot of research going into the files. And I found that the Cablevision files, the St. Louis chapter of versing Cablevision and Texaco, and I finally got rid of Texaco and I got rid of Bajur. They're both kaput. Bajur, the CEO and chairman, that those had been put in 9x12 envelopes, all those papers, and they had never been in file folders. And in doing so, the Cablevision files got misnumbered. Instead of having 65 files, which is what I thought we were on, right? It's actually 72. We're on volume 72 of the law breaking of Charles F. Dolan. So that put me way into the night, somewhere from 10:30 to 1:15, I guess. But after that, I was tired enough to go to sleep. So this morning, around 6:15 or so, I started McCasey and Griesa. And the inspiration on that came from Peggy Dadick and from Bill Budrow, that these people are committing violation 28 U.S. Code, section 372 C1, when a judge becomes mentally unstable or physically unstable and engages in conduct prejudicial to the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts. Which business is justice? And so I wrote that out. I'm going to read you that. And then I finally got down to what I really want to say in this paper to McCasey. His order, so-called, is an order to show cause why I shouldn't be fined $500 and why I shouldn't be precluded from filing any lawsuits. It's crazy. And so I got the title of that paper, and I'm happy about that, and I want to read it to you. I want to share it with you. I decided to start it off this way. Glendora is appalled by the February 7th order, quote-unquote, of McCasey, cloned by Griesa. It is dehumanized. The vehement and bitter denunciation raises questions that Thomas P. Griesa and Michael B. McCasey are fit to discharge the duties of office of a United States District Judge by reason of mental stability. You know what this means. A complaint pursuant to Title 28 U.S. Code, Section 372 C1. This report will be recorded by the Administrative Office of the United States Courts, an agency monitored by Congress. The complaint is to become a permanent part of these judges' personnel file. Copies are going to Glendora's 3 congresspersons and to the Administrative Office of the U.S. Courts, 1 Columbus Circle, Washington, D.C., the U.S. House Committee on Judiciary, and the U.S. Senate Committee on the Judiciary, with their addresses reproduced herein. The conduct of McCasey and Griesa is, quote, prejudicial to the effective and expeditious administration of the business of the courts. Title 28 U.S. Code 372 C1. Which business is justice? Obstruction of justice is a felony. 18 U.S. Code Section 1503. Further, these 372 C1 complaints go on the internet for the whole world to read. 18 U.S. Code Section 1001. This is the criminal code. Whoever, in any matter within this jurisdiction of any department or agency of the United States, knowingly and willfully falsifies, conceals, or covers up by any trick, scheme, or device a material fact, or makes any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statements or representations, or makes or uses any false writing or document knowing the same to contain any false, fictitious, or fraudulent statement or entry, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 5 years, or both. That's where McCasey and Griesa belong. They belong to be fined, and they belong to be imprisoned. And this is what they've done with this so-called order of February 7th. Now, the great inspiration and the great happiness to pass on to you and Rusty and to Franklin is I finally got the title of my paper, what I want to say in this paper. I have written pages and pages and pages, at least 25 pages. But now, I have the title of it. Glendora Omnibus Motion, wherein 1. She shows cause she cannot be fined $500 and cannot be robbed of her right to petition her government for redress in other U.S. district courts. And 2, she asks McCasey and Griesa to show cause why they think filing a case in the Northern District of Alabama is the same as filing a case in the Southern District of New York. And how an IFP can be fined $500. What's an IFP? A poor person. All of my money savings went into fighting crooks in crooked courts. So I have no money except Social Security, and that's not taxable. And 3, omnibus motion, 1, 2, 3. And 3, she moves for relief from order of February 7th, pursuant to Rule 60B, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And 4, she moves McCasey adjudicate Glendora versus the City of New York on its merits and give it a proper case number. And 5, she moves that if McCasey and Griesa cannot do supra, they recuse immediately, pursuant to 28 U.S. Code, sections 144 and 455. Do you like it? It's an opus. Rusty, do you think it's great? What do you think, Franklin?
Very good. He covers the ground very well, Glennie. You put them in their place and let them know where they're deficient. And their deficiencies are great.
There are a few mistakes in that title, so now I'll go write it out again and put the caption on it. You know what case this is? This is the case where the New York City Parking Violations Bureau stole our 1980 Lincoln, saying that we had 3 unpaid summonses and they had never notified us. And so, what it comes down to is that they deprived us of our property without due process of law, 5th Amendment. And I told them that. And that they had violated our civil rights under color of state, meaning that they were governments, and that they were going to get sued for that. Well, they cut the bill down from $620 to $420 something. These are approximate figures. And they finally sent back the $400, but their arithmetic is very bad. They're missing $20. Anyway, this was after I sued them in Alabama. That's what the case is. I'll read you the caption when I come back. Meanwhile, here are some chats with Glendora on audio tape, quite significant.
Has privacy director and does not accept unidentified calls. Now trying to connect. Please hold. Please wait. Hi, thanks for calling. We can't answer the phone right now. Please leave your name and telephone number in a brief message, and we will get back to you after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you.
Peggy, it's Glendora.
Okay, you have to get out of here. Go ahead.
Oh, my eye. Bill says, well, have you seen a doctor? Bill
You have one message in mailbox 1. Mailbox 1. Friday, 6:58 p.m. Hello. Let me go. Have a good night. Bye.
Irving Gelb versus New York City.
Irvin Gelb, who's sued the New York City Board of Directors.
Messages. Hang up.
Board of Elections.
In a
For
3 and send the mailbox number to play messages. Messages deleted.
who is suing the New York City Board of Elections for prohibiting a write-in vote in a contested primary, when everybody else, he claims, all over the state of New York is allowed to do so.
Has privacy director and does not... Now trying to connect. Please hold. Hi, thanks for calling. We can't answer the phone right now. Please leave your name and telephone number in a brief message, and we will get back to you after 2 o'clock this afternoon. Thank you.
Peggy, this has to stop, okay? What is your question? What do you want to know? What do you want to discuss? Tell me what you want to know. If we cannot talk voice to voice, then we'll have to do it through messages. Number one, I'd like to have you get rid of that thing and give me a number where I can get you where I don't have to leave my number. I don't like that. And two, the material that Bill Budrow sent me about your efforts on 372C1 is superb. I'm reading about McCalla, and I'm reading about how you do with 372. I've done several of them. They go nowhere, of course, with the Second Circuit. They go to the chief judge, and then the chief judge just covers up and lies and cheats. That's what happens. And but your idea of sending them to congresspersons and to Meekum, Leonidas Ralph Meekum, the administrator of the U.S. courts, is a good one. I am about to make such a complaint about the former chief judge of the Southern District of New York, Thomas P. Griesa, and of his clone, Michael B. Mukasey. And I'm going to follow your pattern, your outline, which is very, very good. Other than that, have I told you that I did several chapters on Bill Budrow? I recorded them over the telephone, and I videotaped the audio tape, and they've been all over. Bill seems to think that you want to talk to me about getting on TV in Memphis. The first thing we must do is get the name of the cable system in Memphis, get their address, get their telephone number, and get the name of the general manager. Then I can call them up, or you can call them up and say what is the procedure they have for going on public access. I don't know if I told you or not that Bill's stories have gone on TV all over the place. I'm on in Buffalo, New York, Portland, Oregon, Los Alamos, Santa Fe, Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and the Bronx. All of the cable systems in Long Island, all of Westchester, and across the river, the Hudson River to Rockland. Now, when you call next time, it's okay if you call Franklin my better half, but in truth, he's my bitter half. So, I think when you call me, you ought to leave some information.
You know, it's like that McCallum, you know. Gee whiz, when he does so many things like they threw us in jail with no warning, you know.
This is Bill Budrow talking about McCallum, a queer judge in Memphis District Court, federal.
Over and over.
Well, until somebody like you comes along.
Yeah, that's true.
And then they think about it.
Yeah, right.
And believe me, you have been called to come along.
Yeah, that's right.
As displeased as anybody is God.
Yeah. Well, the problem is they need more of us, you know.
Yeah.
And then it would really add up, you know.
Yeah.
So we got to educate these people the best we can, you know. That's the problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And certainly the TV is a big help on that. Sound has to be positive.
Well, these people throughout the United States, you know, they're realizing that the courts are getting so corrupt now, you know.
Oh, yes.
So if they keep going, you know, something's going to happen, you know.
I haven't met a person yet who has said the following. What is your program about? My program is about crooked lawyers and corrupt judges.
Yeah.
Well, there are plenty of those. Every person that I meet and says me that, and I say that, agrees.
Yeah, right, yeah.
They have a lowest public image lower than a used car salesman.
Yes, right. That's right. Well, the problem is we just got to keep going. It's getting better and better every year, you know.
I think so.
But we still got to get the numbers out there, you know.
Yes. But the voice of very few, just like in the American Revolution, can bring the day.
See, the thing is, if we can get on TV also, to have these people that listen make out some of these 372s, you know, sign them.
Say that again.
You know, these 372s, if we could get people on TV to sign those, you know.
You mean ask the TV viewers to sign them?
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
So the more they have, the better it is, because if they get 10,000 complaints, you know, filed in the House Committee of the court system in Washington, you know.
Yeah.
That stays right in their files, so when it comes time for...
You mean the administrator of U.S. courts?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When they get that pile down there, and then when they come up for promotion or reconsideration or anything, they look at that file, wow.
And they're dead.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you kill their future right there.
Good, well, it should be.
Yeah.
Their president should be killed too.
That's like this Gibbon. She's up for, she wants to go up to the 6th Court of Appeals.
And so this will also, as Peggy says, it ruins the dream of the Supreme.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, they all want to, get promoted and be to a higher court,
Sure. And that's the ones to whom they are beholden.
That's right.
Not to justice, not to the United States.
Yeah.
Not to citizens. These are the public's courts.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. How did this whole thing start with you and Celeste?
Well, it started when we just filed this bankruptcy stuff from this woman on time, and we were going to do some antique shows in Florida. So we brought...
Wait just a second, folks. There's a thought here. It must be horrible, squeeze, to be a judge. You don't get anywhere in their rotten, dirty system unless you are rotten and dirty. And when you are rotten and dirty and the public complains about you, then you're not going to go anywhere. Quite a squeeze, isn't it? That's what you call a dilemma. One way out is just as bad as the second.
Antiques from her on time and took them down to Florida on a new venture, and thought we'd make some money. But so we bought these antiques from her on time and took them down to Florida on a new venture, and thought we'd make some money. But turned out that we didn't. So that when we come back, we didn't have the money to pay her. So she would have got her money if she just was patient, But she went out and hired this Jewish lawyer, and he was going to really rip us to town. So he was bringing us in for depositions, for this, for that. And so what we thought we'd do was file bankruptcy just to hold him off,
Oh, yeah. Now, what court did he file this in?
I filed it.
No, what court did the Shylock file it in?
Oh, Connecticut.
In the Connecticut what court?
In the Superior Court.
Superior Court in Connecticut, in Hartford?
No, in Stanford.
In Stanford. Okay, now I got it.
Yeah, then what he did is he attached the house.
Oh.
And the house belongs to a trust. It doesn't belong to us.
Belongs to a trust.
Yeah. So he just went ahead and attached it and so forth. And he was doing so many things, we felt as though that people were telling us, just file bankruptcy and then the court will take over and he can't do anything for years,
Oh.
So it isn't that we're not going to pay this woman because, being Christians, you're going to pay her anyways,
Yes.
But the only thing is we didn't have $50,000 in cash to pay her.
Yes.
So that's what we did is we filed this bankruptcy. And, of course,
Where did you file that?
in Memphis.
Why in Memphis?
Well, because when I was down in Mississippi at the house down there, I was asking people where the closest bankruptcy court was, and everybody was saying Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
So I filed it in Memphis down. Then I find out that, first of all, the lawyer that took the case should have never filed it because we never lived in Memphis and we never had any creditors in Memphis. That's one of the requirements,
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So not only did he screw up, but then it went to the trustee, and the trustee, as I find out, should have knocked it out right then and there because they don't have jurisdiction, in other words,
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So he didn't take it out, and then the court clerk accepted it, with our address right down there and everything.
Address in Mississippi?
Yeah,
Or address in Connecticut?
Mississippi.
Uh-huh.
So the clerk should have refused to take it,
Yeah.
but they didn't do it either. And then it went to the judge, and the judge didn't do it either. So there's 4 people that it went through without the jurisdiction, in other words,
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, of course, the trustee saw where you live in a big house and stuff like that, and it's worth millions, Then the dollar signs go in front of their eyes,
And which house was that, Mississippi or Connecticut?
Connecticut and Mississippi.
Okay, first of all, what was the name of the lawyer in Connecticut who went after you?
Katz.
Katz.
Yeah, Mark Katz.
Mark Katz in Stanford?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. And so the trustee, of course, naturally saw those dollar signs, So then they wanted to, then they illegally got a restraining order against the trust that owned the houses, and
Yeah, they allege a lot of things in this. We've been fighting them for 7 years now, over 7 years.
Well, did this stop cats?
Yeah.
It did stop cats.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't do anything, you know.
So now it's in the trustee. What's the name of the trustee?
Edward Montadonico.
Wow, and he's in Memphis.
Yeah. And they are so crooked.
Oh, they are?
Uh,
Oh, I know. I've had experience with one.
so now he's hired 3 different attorneys himself to come in on the case, you know, trying to nail us, you know.
The trustee has?
Yeah.
And, okay, but you did get a stay.
Well, of course, it's just pending, you know.
But you do have a stay.
Yeah, they just, basically, we've appealed it up, let's see, we've got about 6 or 7 appeals, you know. Even this judge, he ordered us to answer all these questions, you know, that were, you should hear them, you know. And,
What is the name of the judge?
Kennedy.
And with first name?
David.
And in Memphis,
Yeah,
in the bankruptcy court.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And he ordered us to answer all these questions, you know. Some of them would be very damaging, you know. So we figured, well, since we're going pro se, we're just going to take our Fifth Amendment, you know. And we did that, and he ordered us to go ahead and answer him, even though we took our Fifth Amendment, and I cited him probably about 25, 30 Supreme Court cases, you know.
Wow.
And he still ordered us to answer him. So when we refused to answer him, he found a judgment against us for not answering the questions as he ordered, you know.
Well, oh, my goodness. What kind of a judgment? What did he say?
Well, he gave a summary judgment where it threw us out from going through bankruptcy or anything, you know.
Okay. Did he fine you?
No, he didn't fine us, but the problem is,
He dismissed the bankruptcy.
no, he didn't put it in writing.
Oh.
And without putting it in writing,